Yeah, this is
I got
12
no
point.
By the way,
problem.
guys, I just
Yeah, it's
started the
12.3.
live stream, so
Yeah, 12.3 is sitting out there for me. And I haven't followed it.
all kinds of people are joining now. Okay, I forgot to post on the community. Oh well.
Maybe I'll wait for 12.31.
Yeah. I'd say that I've been really impressed with Apple's support on Twitter, though. If you ever have any issues, just mention Apple support on Twitter, and yeah, it's been pretty awesome. It's all happens over DM, but yeah, they're very responsive, pretty quick, and yeah, they always get you to the correct Apple support article that you need right away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I don't know, trying to search through the Apple support forums, it's like you could spend quite a bit of time. So I realized just pinging Apple support on Twitter is just the quickest way to get, to the doc that I need of potentially how to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think as soon as I reboot my machine, I'll have 12.3 and probably have to do something.
Well, did you not work for Apple at one point, I believe?
What wasn't working at one point? Sorry, I missed that.
I believe you worked for Apple at one point.
So I wasn't an official employee. I was a contractor for them.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
Yeah. But a trick, if you ever get to work for Apple, conveniently forget your ID card on the last day, and then you get to keep it.
It's like my license plate when I moved back to Texas, because it's Rebel Scum from Star Wars, and it somehow got lost on the freeway.
Oh no! Oh
yeah, it's definitely not hanging in my garage right now. Definitely not. Actually, I'm going to move that into my office.
Nice.
I think that'd be cool to have in there. And I got the same one for Texas now too.
Hey people, what's up?
Here I go.
Davide. Whoa.
There you go.
Look at that. There's my Apple ID card.
Wow.
Look how young I was. Jesus Christ.
Well, now that this is going to be public,
check out this one.
Yeesh.
Oh, God.
Screenshot.
Wow. Now that this is public, they're going to start coming for you, Joe. We want our ID back. That's Apple property.
Yep, exactly.
We saw it live streamed.
The ghost of Steve Jobs is going to haunt you now.
Oh.
So he gets his badge back.
Well, I probably shouldn't put my here. I'll show you the picture of my first ever driver's license. Check out this picture. It was right with those IDs.
Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Don't even look old enough to drive.
Hey, Scott.
What's up, Pete?
Oh.
I should join let me launch the restream chat in case there's always people who join the YouTube instead, and then they're like,
Yeah, I clicked it. That's what I did. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Oh, wait a minute. He's having a hangout.
yeah.
Hey Joe, question for you. Do we need to re-sign up to the community?
Yes.
Nothing got moved over?
Yeah, I got moved over. You have to create a new account. Yeah.
Come here.
Thanks.
No problem. Yeah, that confused a bunch of people. I intentionally figured out a way, if you like had an old bookmark that went to the old homepage, like I created a URL there that like explains, please create a new account and all that jazz. But yeah.
Hey, at my age, I get confused easily.
You expect anybody to read that, Joe?
Yeah, exactly.
The nice thing about getting old, though, is 5 minutes after you get confused, you forgot you were.
We're all getting older.
Never been so sure of myself in my life.
There were 10 people viewing on YouTube, so I just posted them the URL. Hopefully it'll pop in here. Cool. I have to admit, so I was like an hour ago, I was like, oh shoot, it's live stream day. And I was like, I guess we're just gonna do a hangout today.
All planned. All planned.
Exactly. It was all planned.
Yeah.
I meant it that way. I have been helping Isaiah trying to get this 12.3 update, like 'cause on the RapidWeaver forum, there's a thread going on over there, and it's all kinds of conspiracy theories going on. Like, I was like, I don't know what's going on. It's crazy. So I'm trying to help Isaiah to figure it out, because obviously neither of us can replicate any of their issues. And I was having issues with the update. So, but I don't know, maybe I did something different when I was in safe mode than those other guys. I really don't know. But yeah, it's unfortunate.
What is the
quite an
issue?
issue with RapidWeaver too. Like I have to restart the entire computer, and sometimes it just doesn't save projects.
Really?
I have a message popping out. There's an error. This project couldn't be saved, and I cannot even publish because RapidWeaver would save it first and then publish. And that process.
Oh, I know how to solve that problem. All you got to do is you go to apple.com and buy a new Mac Studio.
And an expensive
Don't ship to Mexico.
Ah,
Oh, and change the address. I'll give you the address. Just change the address. I'll give it to you, and that's how you solve it.
Davide, I'm closer, so I'll make sure it gets to you. And we don't
Hey,
have to
Joe.
like they do in
Yeah.
California.
So if I want to put a stack setting inject it, right?
Yes.
It's just like percent ID equals whatever percent. Is that?
Yes. So it's so if you want to here, why not? I'll share my screen. We'll do some stack development 101 right now. How about that? Let me launch my code editor here.
All right, everything's working on that site now, Joe. Thank you.
Score. What was it?
No, I mean without the preview.
Oh, without the
I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm happy.
Got it. Okay, sweet. I'm in total CMS. Let's look at that really quick. Let's go to a simple one. Select a text stack. Total text. Okay. So I got a plist file here. Let's open it in the editor, because who likes editing XML files that are huge? All right. So in this example here, I have a text input, right? And the ID is file. In retrospect, I really wish I didn't name this setting file, but oh well.
That was the other thing I was going to ask you. Does it matter what you name stuff? I mean, what if another stack on a page?
No, it could be, it's all encapsulated for each stack, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Obviously just keep it, I try to keep it simple, all letters, and maybe I'll use a number, right? But no spaces. I don't use dashes.
All right.
Okay. So if you want, you can use camel case if you want to do, like file, hello, or camel case kind of lets you, so anyway, so the ID is file, and then basically inside of your code, you can then do wherever the hell where is this?
Percent ID
there it
equals,
is.
right?
Percent ID equals, and then the name of the setting file percent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. What are the double ones there?
So here, let's extrapolate some of these.
Oh, I see. Never mind.
So these are like this. There's this code right here. This does. Or let's make this bigger. This allows you to do if edit.
If you're in edit mode or.
Yep, exactly. Now there is an older version of these macros, which was just percent if. Oops, not typing. Percent if edit. Oh, more people want in.
Okay.
Jesus, Zoom keeps stealing my focus here. There we go.
If
All right,
If edit.
so you could do that, right? So you could do
Yeah.
edit like this. This is the old version. It's better to use this version.
Jesus, Zoom keeps stealing my focus. There we go.
All right.
So yeah,
I just want to make
this
sure.
is supported and it will work, but this
Yeah.
this will actually be faster. So this will make edit mode faster if you use these macros for the if edit stuff. And of course, on the end side, you need to have the same 2% in 2 brackets.
Okay.
Okay. And then like you can do like these sort of conditionals, right? So like you can do this stuff like, if, and then you have to like, for an if statement, you have to like put the entire thing inside these little percent parentheses. And then you do like, if this setting equals format, then put in this.
Right.
Right. So that's another thing you can do.
All right, cool. This makes a hell of a lot more sense in JavaScript.
You know what? I mean, yeah. A lot of times what I'll do in JavaScript and PHP and stuff is I'll just shove the value of the variable into a PHP or JavaScript variable and then just use PHP or JavaScript. If this, it's instead of having to do that stacks, all the stacks if APIs, because it gets a little hairy and ugly to look at sometimes. Sweet. Any other questions? Who else has any questions? We can hop in and whatever we want to chat about. I'm open.
I don't have a question, Joe. I have a remark.
Oh yeah, a remark.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
A remark. Let me think what it was. It has something to do with the pre-fetch links swatch. It's an experimental feature in your Swatch stacks, or in your Swatch stacks, I think.
Yep.
I had a website on which I had a login logout button, and I used this prefetch links on the page, and it unintentionally logged me out all the time. And I was wondering, what is it? And I was working with
interesting.
Adrian Jones of SiteLog. And he said, well, there must be something, an Ajax thing that locks you out. And maybe for the guys who use SiteLog as well and use the logout link of his stack, of his system, it will basically trigger that logout button every time you load the page.
Wow.
So
Is it, and that's because the button has a URL in it, right? It's just a link that links to a URL. Ah, yeah. See, that would be a problem. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If you were to be a little bit more clever, like I think if you used my site logout stuff. I'm sorry, what I missed that.
What do you ask of me? Be a little bit more clever.
If everyone here could just be a little more clever, doing stuff. Thank you.
I mean, so how so those of you that don't know, there is here. Let me share my screen so you guys can see.
Just be a little bit more like Joe.
Let's launch RapidWeaver really quick.
Oh no.
Okay. All right, so what he's talking about inside site styles, there is where is it? Prefetch links. Prefetch links right there. Right, it's a part of the Swatch pack. And what this does, I used to actually have this on the Foundation Stacks demo site until I installed PWA on there. Once I installed PWA, it was wasn't really needed. So what this does here, let's open up the Foundation Stack site just to kind of show you what it does. Okay, so the Foundation Stacks demo, it has this menu on the left here. And previously I had this stack on this site. And what it would do is when you loaded it in the background after the page loaded, it would look for links to external pages on your website, and then it would load them in the background so that the browser would pre-cache those pages, so that if someone clicked on it, the browser would have already cached the HTML and it would load a little bit faster, right? So that's what prefetch links does. It works really, really well. But what Gaston was saying is he had a logout button, and the site lock logout button had a URL that you link to log out. Well, when prefetch links doesn't know what you're doing, right? It doesn't know, oh, this URL that I'm about to fetch is going to log this person out, right? It doesn't have smarts like that. Although I might have added a class that if you add a class to the button, it'll ignore it. I think I added that feature. I could have. So that's what was going on. So that was probably driving you nuts, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a couple of days to figure it out.
Yes.
But thanks to Adrian. Adrian tipped me, and that's what when I thought, oh my God, prefetch links.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you
I
remember we had an issue with prefetch link also on multi-language websites.
Yeah. So if you were to use my site lock logout stack, you wouldn't have that problem. So that was your problem to begin with.
If we were a little smarter, Joe wouldn't have to work
Just a
nearly
little
as hard.
So yeah, my site lock logout stack, you can add whatever button you want, and it'll magically turn it into a logout button. So if you want to use prefetch links, yeah, use my site lock logout stack instead, and that will solve that. Another thing, here, let me look and see if I added a little class that would ignore potential links. Let me see. Hold on one second. Swatch pack. Quick link. And no, I did not add any sort of thing. It just processes everything. So yeah, that would, if you still want to use prefetch links, the site logout stack should work for you.
I'll try that. Thanks.
Cool. No problem.
You remember
No.
we had an issue with prefetch links also on agent, like on multi-language websites.
Remind me what that was.
The website would just keep bouncing between a language and the other.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yeah. Because it was finding the links to the other language, and then it was clicking on the other language link, and then that in the background would change your language for your session.
Yes.
Yes.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
It drove me nuts for days.
There we go. Yeah, I would see that being a problem. Yeah, I do remember that.
That was not fun. Oh boy.
But the good thing is, Davide, that you learn the hard way what the experimental feature does.
Yes.
So you just get it now.
And I'm not the guy that, you're using an app and they come up with a nice pop-up saying, hey, turn on experimental feature. I'm the guy that clicks no thanks, right? But yeah, in this case, oh well.
One solution, I mean, if you have my PWA Pro stack, that will do similar thing. It won't automatically, download everything, but here, let me show you what I've done instead, in lieu of prefetch links on that Foundation Stack site. All right. Let me go to project. There it is. Okay, so remember what prefetch linked is. No matter what page you visited, it would scan all of these URLs and then preload those. Now with PWA Pro, oops, in the manifest, okay, you can load in, you can like preload assets, right? Okay, so you can preload whatever you want, fonts, images, JavaScript, CSS. So what I did here is in the assets settings, you can go through and like figure out all the URLs to your CSS files and your JavaScript files and all your images throughout your whole site and add it into here. Okay. That's a lot of work, right? It is. So what I did was, instead of going through all of that, what I did is I just put the URL to every web page. So I just got the URLs to all of these web pages and I chucked it in here. Okay. So what that does is PWA will, at least, while it doesn't load all the JavaScript and CSS before those pages are loaded, it does download the HTML for all those pages, right? So what that does is, at least when I click on a page, the HTML for the page is already loaded and cached in the browser. So all it needs to do is, at least for the first visit, download the assets related to the page, right? So that's a little speed bump. If you want to kind of replicate that prefetch links feature with PWA, that's how you would do it. You just get the URLs to all your pages that you want to preload and just load them all into the assets. And that will give you a little speed bump. Yeah, I mean, if I go offline, I can't go offline and show you guys right now, obviously, because I disconnect everything. But if I were to go offline and go to one of these pages, it would, if I hadn't previously visited it, it would load in the HTML even if I was offline, but it wouldn't show, it all styled because it wouldn't have the CSS and JavaScript loaded. If that makes any sense. Just curious, how many people here are using, have anyone implemented PWA on one of your sites yet?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, cool.
But I also have it on a site which uses total CMS, and I had the impression that it slowed down the update process of editing.
Oh, really? You think you
pages.
think it slowed down your site?
No, my users don't see the changes that they make in total CMS because the pages are cached.
Really? It should show new blog pages. It should definitely show, if you create a new blog post, you should definitely see that. That shouldn't affect, because I know Scott here, he runs it on a quite a large blog. And before I released it, I wanted to, and he loaded PWA prior to release, and we ran it for a couple months before I was, comfortable making sure it was released and out. So it should work. New blog posts should work.
And static pages?
What do you mean instead of pages?
No, static pages.
Oh, static pages.
Yeah.
I mean, so that means you're creating a new page. How's your client creating new static pages on the site?
No, he doesn't create new pages, but I've created pages for them with editable blocks, and they edit those blocks.
Oh, so you edit the blocks. Okay, I get it. So they're editing the page content, and then they're not seeing that content that's on the static pages. Got it. So yeah, at that point, that is because what's happening is PWA is loading whatever's in cache. However, once the page is visited, PWA should in the background fetch the latest version, so that the next time a page is visited, it should load the updated content. That's how it should work. If you're not seeing that, let me know. So basically, they make the changes. They go look on the public side. They will still see the cached version, but if they refresh again and visit the page a second time, it should show the new content. That's how it should work. If it's not, let me know. I can debug that some more.
Yeah. I have to work with it some more, I think.
Okay. Does that make sense how that workflow works though?
Yeah,
so
sure,
I mean, to help help speed things up, I immediately grab it from the cache first, serve up the cached version, and in the background, I download the latest version and then replace the cached version with the new one.
Yeah.
That's how it should work. So
So Joe, there's something that up on the community site, and you're looking at the entries, you see on many of these where there's a certain amount of text showing, and then it says see more, and you click on that and it opens up, and then it shows the CMS. I thought we had discussed this in the past. I think Chris and stuff, I think we discussed how you go about implementing that. Do you remember if there's like a video on that already up, that kind of technique, or?
On which, what was it again?
Is this in Total? So Total CMS has that feature. If you're using it in blog, it has that. But if you just want a generic feature like that,
right?
One way to do it, I know Paragraph Pro has that as a feature.
So I was trying to do everything in Foundation and Total CMS, and I was trying to go, and I was thinking about it not only from blogs but on a standard page.
I mean, if we wanted to, we could probably, if no one has any other questions, I could try to implement that right now with swatches. Could be interesting.
Well, I have one quick question, which I'm sure you'll solve quickly, which I was going to ask you Friday.
Sure.
If I can share my screen, because I know you solved it very quickly before. Sorry about this, and it won't take long. Oh God, accept all that, accept. What's this? Oh, go away, and go away. Right, you solved the problem in the htaccess file the other week.
Yeah.
Right, well, with regarding to forcing from, because I've changed everything on the Google console, but every time, like, I clear the whole cache, and if I type in the address of British Sales Organisation, it defaults to www rather than non-www, so nothing like the blogs, nothing will work.
Yep.
Now, inside here, I've zoomed it, I can make it a bit bigger.
I can see it.
Yeah. Have I done something wrong?
So one thing, I would look at your order of your rules. So right now you have all your blog rules up top. Okay,
well, they're all up here, yeah.
Yeah, I would move those rules for your HTTPS and www. I'd move those all the way to the top.
Okay,
so they're the first ones.
Correct in the way they are.
I have an FAQ on Weaver Space. I can load it up really quick. They look okay for right now. I mean, I don't have that syntax in the rules memorized.
Yeah.
Let me look. I can compare it to what's on Weaver Space.
I copied and pasted them from the thing that you said a couple of weeks
ago. Then
perfect. Added in the address.
Then yeah, if you copied and pasted that, I would move that all the way to the top. And then but you're saying it's not working?
Well, no, I cleared the cache on the Mac to me right here. And I type it into Google, it still goes to www.
And you have you have this saved as your active htaccess file on your server.
Yeah,
right
that
now.
is the one that's currently active. Yes.
Okay. So I go to what, britsales.co.uk. Let's try it.
Yes. Or britishsalesorganisation.com. I can put that in the chat.
And you're expecting it to not go to the www, right?
Yes, I want it.
Yeah.
It's set up as
so let me add www and let's see.
But it is still coming up as www. Because about 2 minutes ago, I cleared the cache on the Mac to me right completely.
Correct. It is. You also have this cookies accepted message every time I visit the site. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
that
what.
should only come up once. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So okay. So www Brit sales. Yeah, it's going to the www. There, so your rule isn't getting applied.
So I'll move that to the top and try that.
Yeah, move it to the top and give that a shot.
Okay, I'll try that and then see how we go. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I'll stop. There we go. Carry on with what you were going to do. Sorry, Joe.
Wait, no problem.
Thank you.
Can I quickly reply to something?
Sure. Yeah.
I have a question and a tip. The question is, I saw David having rewrite engines on several times on the HTSS file. Is that necessary?
Yes. No, it is not necessary. So that's an optional thing. It's not going to hurt anything. But yeah, as long as you have it once at the very top, you don't need to have it all the other times. It doesn't hurt anything having them though. So
okay.
Yeah.
I like things cleaned up, so I always get rid of them. So
yes, yeah, you only need it once. And once it's on, unless you turn it off at some point, but I would assume no one's going to be doing that. So yeah.
I'll have a major tidy up.
Yeah. So at the very top, you can just say rewrite engine on, and then you can just delete all the rest of the rewrite engines.
Thank you.
Rewrite engine on. You need all the other rules like the dash F and dash D. You might think, oh, because those are part of the pretty URLs, you might think, oh, I can just delete those. You can't. You have to have those for every single rule. So yeah, those two lines, because basically what those do is it checks to see if a specific file for the URL actually exists, then it doesn't process that rule. So that dash F and dash D are important. If you remove those, it could potentially break some things on the site. So you definitely want to make sure you have those for every single blog rule.
Yeah, as I had the wrong thing in there the other day and it all shut down.
Yep. Yeah. And if you have a syntax issue in your htaccess file, your entire site's going to be broken, as David found out. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
And speaking of which, here goes my tip. I have several blogs on my page.
Mm-hmm.
One for blogs, one for news, etc. And most of you have that. But I also have a blog to create pages. So they are directly under the root of my Total CMS site.
Yep.
So I can make pages with the blog, and it has the same URL rule syntax, but it doesn't work if that rule is not on the bottom of all the other rules.
Yeah, it's probably because that one is kind of a more global rule, and it's probably you're matching things at the very big top of the website, right? So it's probably a very aggressive rule. We could probably, if you didn't want it to match, we could probably tweak it a little bit. So but yeah, if you just copied and pasted how I have those rules set up, and then you just kind of did it at the root level, I could see that being an issue if it was not the last rule on the page. Yeah. That's a great point. I have seen people use blog to create pages. Obviously you're limited to the fields and whatnot, but it, doesn't need to be called a blog. A blog is just a web page as well, right? So,
Exactly.
So yeah, exactly.
We're still waiting for Total CMS 2, and that will be in the past.
Okay. Well, now that Total CMS 2 came up, okay, I can at least show you something. Now you guys might not fully
Isaiah's app should come first.
What?
Isaiah's app should come first.
He will probably beat me. Yes, I will admit that. But just to show you what I did this week, and it might not mean much to some of you guys, but I've been working on documentation for the API for Total CMS 2, because Total CMS 2 will have a full-blown API. So that we can interact with the CMS and do all kinds of cool stuff programmatically, as well as through like Zapier and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, I've been working on the documentation for the full-blown API for Total CMS 2. So there we go. I'm pretty excited about it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So anyway,
That's what that was.
Yeah, that's what that was. So I'm paying a developer to help me get this done. But one thing I've noticed is, because when I'm working on things, like everything's just in my head, so I just start working on it right away, right? But when someone else is working on it, he doesn't have my head, right? So like it's a completely different process where I like have to document everything that's in my brain out so that he can implement it. It's an interesting process because I've been a solo developer for so long that I've never had to worry about that. It's just everything's in my brain, so I just get it done. So yeah, it's been a learning curve to make sure I get everything documented out properly, so that it's implemented how I envision it. And then as a side effect, we all get this. I'm making this cool docs, so it's not just for me and him, but also people in the future who want to use and potentially use that API will be able to leverage that documentation as well. So anyway, that'll be fun.
Documenting is the funnest thing to do, isn't it? I mean,
I love it so much.
Oh, damn it.
Love it. Okay. Okay, we were gonna try to create a read more button. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so what Dr. Bob was talking about is this little read more button here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, let's figure out if we could do that. I think we could do it with swatches. Let's see. I don't want to use this project file. Let's close that. Okay. Oh, this was helping Davide fix something, but we don't care about that anymore. So
No, come on.
I'll still look at it, Davide. I promise. Okay.
Did you just delete the entire thing?
It's too hard to make a new page.
It's all in his head anyway.
Yeah, yo, there we go. Okay. Actually, creating a new page might be good here. Well, this way, this will serve as a reminder for me. Okay, let's go ahead and create a new page. And stacks page. And we'll call this read more.
Remo.
Oh, ream more. Read more. Exactly. If Tab was here, he'd take that in a completely different direction. But okay. Okay, so site styles. We got that. Oh, we're gonna need that. Okay, so let's chuck in a content here. I wish double click on a partial would extract it. I've been trying to convince Isaiah to do that. Okay. So let's just delete this. Let's do like all right, lots of text. All right. So, and then I'm going to add let's do a button. And I'm going to have it be a hollow button. No, I'm going to clear button. We're going to do read more. Okay. And for kicks, this is going to be a read more container. So I'm going to do auto no wrapper, custom classes is read dash more. Okay. All right. Now let's start with some swatches. So on this so I have this container that has text. Okay. And right now, obviously, it's going to display all the text. Okay. But what we want is we want to be able to, by default, only show a portion of that. Right. Okay. So in order to do that, we're going to adjust the height of this container. Okay. So I'm going to take that container and we're going to shrink it. So how do we adjust the height of something? Well, we got a height swatch. Okay. So we're going to adjust the height on read more. Let's just do a simple height. What do I have in detailed? Yeah, we'll do simple. Okay. So let's do like one thing let's try 160. Let's see what that gives us. Well, we need less than that. Okay, let's do 96. There we go. So here I got, as you see, all that text is still there. Okay, it's just I've adjusted the height. Okay. And then this read more button, what I want to do is when I click this read more button, I want this to expand. I want to change the height. Okay. So we got some tools in Foundation that allows me to adjust things when I click this button. But first, let's play around. I'm going to create a new height, and when I do read more dot expand, okay. So when I add the expand class to read more, I want the height to be auto. Let's try that. Okay. So right now it's a height. So what I'm going to do is on this read more, I'm going to also add an expand class. Now, when I have this expand class, it should be the whole thing, and it is. Okay. So when I delete this expand class, it's like that. When I add the expand class, it's like that. Okay. So now all we do is trigger this little read more button to add that expand class. Okay. So anyone know what I would use to do that?
Toggle.
Toggle, exactly. So we're going to go to here. We're going to use a toggler. Now, toggler is in the swatch pack that for those that don't have that, but let's call this button the expander. Okay, so this button is an expander. Okay, I want to, so toggle class on selector, the trigger is expander. Okay, I'm going to toggle the expand class, and I'm going to target the read more, and it's on click. And that should be it. So essentially what this is when I click on the expander, it's going to add the expand class to read more. Okay, hopefully I did that right. So now I'm going to click on read more, and look at that. We can even see. But now, I mean, that's not all like great because it looks like crap. It's just instant, right? All right, so we can fix that. How do I make that look smoother, guys? What are we going to use?
Transition.
Transition, exactly. So we're going to do a transition swatch on read more. Okay. For 1 second, all properties. All right. Oops. Let's just use rapid reprieve. Click on that. Oh no! Now I knew this was going to happen. It was a trick. Okay. What happened? I added a transition. How come I don't have that? Okay. So, if you notice when we add the expand class, I'm changing it from an actual kind of fixed height to auto height. Okay. Unfortunately, you can't animate something from a fixed to auto. It's just not going to work. Okay. But we also, I mean, so we could do something like, I'm going to make it height 256. Okay. But that's not really good either because, well, this content container is bigger than 256. So, well, what the heck are we going to do there then? All right. So, the way we get around this is instead of using the height, okay, we're going to turn off the height and we're going to use max height instead. So what I'm going to do is I'm not even applying any height to it. I'm going to set the max height though to be what I think it was 96 is what I said, 96. Okay. And then over here, instead of using height, we're going to use max height again. Now with this max height here is going to be, I only have 256. So I'm going to have to go to detailed, and we'll just set the max height to 1,000 pixels. Okay. So now when I preview this, okay, we still get the height, even though the height is set to auto by default by the browser, we're setting the max height to be 96. And then when I click this height, the height is set to auto, but the max height is set to 1,000 pixels. But because this is not nowhere close to 1,000 pixels, it just expands out to be the automatic height. Does that make sense? Right? So I mean, I could set this height here to be like, you know, I get whatever I want, right? It could be is that 100,000 or a million? Doesn't really matter. Okay. Because now with that, if you'll notice the animation happened really quick, right? It was almost instant. It's because it's trying to animate from 96 pixels to 1,000,000 pixels over a second. Right? I don't know if that makes any sense at all. Okay. So here I set this to be 1,000,000 pixels. In our transition, we're saying transition from the start to end over a 1 second time period. And in here, we're going from 96 pixels to 1,000,000 pixels. So the browser is calculating, well, to go from 96 pixels to 1,000,000 pixels in 1 second, I have to go really fast. So we'll just reduce that to something more economical, which is like 1,000. And the animation time period, as you see there, is a lot nicer. There we go. Pretty simple, right? I think that's pretty cool. That was fun. What do you guys think?
Nice. But can we fix the button to become a read less button?
That's trickier. All right, let's see if we can figure it out. Okay, it is possible. Okay, but it's going to be tricky. So what I'm going to do? Yeah, we got to be clever. Okay, so in order to do that, we can't use the label of the button. Okay. So, well, what the heck are we going to do now then, Joe? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use the content, pseudo content. All right, so we're going to do expander, and the content is going to be by default read more. That should. All right. All right. So now, I'm going to need another toggler to toggle the class on this button. Okay. So all right, here, let's organize this really quick. Man.
COVID.
There we go. Okay, so now we got this toggler, and well, one thing you could potentially do is you could just do trigger once on this one, so that once you did read more, but then you couldn't turn it off. You don't want that. Never mind. Okay. So we're gonna, on this one, we're gonna toggle the trigger element, right? Yeah, toggle the trigger element. And we're going to put the toggle class of shrink. Or we'll do read less. Okay. So what this is doing is on the expander, when we click the expander, it's going to toggle a read less class on the expander because I'm saying toggle the trigger element. Okay. So at that point, it doesn't really matter what we have up here. And this selector is not even used, but we'll just for our documentation, we'll just keep that the same. Okay, so when we add the read less class, I want to change the pseudo content from, so we did read dash less. This is, by the way, if this is a really, I've explained this a few times, but you guys might have not seen this. If you look here, I have class dot read less. What that does is if this now is requiring that I have both classes on there. So that's just a little quickie of, requiring there be multiple classes on a particular thing. So expander.read less means it has both the expander and the read less class. Okay. And when that happens, we want the content to be read less. Okay. We'll just do read less, but or we'll do shrink. How about that? Just so it's totally different. Okay. So, and just to test that, or let's just preview. Let's see if it just works. Boom. There we go.
Cool.
Pretty slick.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put that in the template.
Now the only thing missing are the ellipses.
That's a that's a tough one. So here, let's see if we can figure that out. Okay, so when this is shrink, okay, so when this is showing less, we want to have an ellipsis. When it's expanded, we don't want an ellipsis.
Right.
Okay, let's see if we can figure that out. Okay, so we're going to use pseudo content again. And let's add it in here. And we're going to do pseudo content on read more. And I'm going to do, it has to be after. And we're going to do ... All right, let's just do it like that. Let's see what that does. Oh, there it is. That is trickier because you want it to be up here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, when I was first looking at this, I was looking at the character, limiting the number of characters that were being presented.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about doing this height deal like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's not, I mean, you have to find because we're doing the height, let's say on mobile, right? It's showing less content, right? Oh, if you look here, look, 1,000 pixels isn't even enough for this on mobile, right? So we'd have to tweak that so it would be more than 1,000.
Right.
Okay. Or you can use different height classes with a media query to target different heights for different devices if you wanted it that way. But yeah, I mean, because on desktop we were seeing the entire first paragraph, right? But here on mobile, we're only seeing the first 4 lines, right? So yeah, you'd have to play with that. There isn't a way right now in CSS to basically say, show me the first 3 lines of this, or show me the first X amount of characters.
Right.
That just doesn't exist. That's what now it is it is possible to compute some of that with JavaScript, okay, which is what some more like read more plugins. I'm not sure what Tav uses in Paragraph Plus, but or Paragraph Paragraph Plus, but it might use JavaScript to compute the number of characters. So basically, what it does is on page load, it computes either the number of characters and then the width, and then it could guesstimate how many lines you're showing, and so that's how all that happens. It's a lot of computing behind the scenes to figure out where to move and shrink things. This is a little bit more rudimentary, but it does work, and it uses zero JavaScript, which is always good. If you don't have to resort to JavaScript, it's a better thing.
Well, and it's sort of it's a different implementation of like accordion.
Yeah.
So
you can do that with text drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, text drop. I have a text drop stack, and that's exactly what that can do as well. Yeah. So yeah, it might be possible to get this ellipse. It would be tricky, and it probably wouldn't be very possible to have it directly after the paragraph. That would be very, very tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for fun, let's see. Okay, so I got
Even
pseudo
if it
content.
was on the next line down, I mean,
Yeah.
if you weren't trying to do it, but you were just simply indicating on the next line down.
All right, so if I did dot read more p : first child. All right. Oh, why didn't that work? Read more. Oh, I've read dash more is my class. Oh, there we go. So, again, this would, so if you notice, I added that, and then basically then what you could do is, you then do another one that's read more, was it dot expand content after that. All right, so now we got that, and we remove it. The ellipsis is gone. But okay, so what this does is it targets the first paragraph and adds an ellipsis to the first paragraph, right? All right. But like here, let's go to, we can break, that's easily breakable, because on mobile now that ellipsis isn't even visible because it's hidden. It is there, but so that's kind of a hack, but that would be the best way I could think of doing that.
Cool.
Fun though. Good question. I'll definitely add this to my template pack. And here, if anyone wants it right now, I'll create a new project file and then let's drag that in there. Oops. Hey, you have to add a page first. All right, save that. Read more. Chuck it up there. I'll plop this in the chat. Anyone wants that right now? Oh, oops. It added a bunch of Lorem Ipsum text in there too. I'll plop it for all those on the YouTube stream. I will copy this and put it in there too. There you go. Cool. Any other questions?
Hey, Joe, and this has probably been answered many times over, but what's the best thing for loading or building a gallery, loading, automatically uploading photos, building a gallery when the photos are all kinds of dimensions, they're all over the place?
Mm-hmm.
What's the best way for doing that?
So, Total CMS does have a feature where, if you upload to an image gallery, it can automatically resize them, right?
Okay.
So, if a user is trying to upload, these ginormous images, you can tell Total CMS resize this down to 1,000 pixels, and it will resize that down. And then I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And then for thumbnails, you can specify the size for the thumbnails as well. So that way, when the thumbnails get generated, you can ensure that the thumbnails for the uploaded images are the correct size. Okay.
And then you can make them all the same size, all the same.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So it'll make sure all of them are the same size.
And it keeps the image within its constraints.
Correct. Yeah. So you give it a maximum constraint, and it'll resize the image down so that it fits within those constraints.
Okay.
Okay.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
You want to solve my JavaScript question, Joe?
Sure. Let's go for it.
So
You're the one with the change.
Yeah. Throw a select box on your screen.
Yep.
And then throw another field on.
All right. Let's go. I already saved this to a different project file, so let's go ahead and just delete all that. Okay. Foundation. Got a form.
I didn't even use the form. I just used the select box itself.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It doesn't really matter. You're right. Okay. So select box. Yeah.
So put 3 or 4 options in there, or 2, at least 2. Option 1, value 1.
Here, let's do. All right.
Okay.
There we go.
So what I want to be able to do, obviously, is stuff that answer into another field.
You want to stuff this answer into another field without pi. So my default thing would be pi, but you don't want to have pi. You want to do it with JavaScript, right?
Yeah. Because obviously I'm not doing this, but this will tell me what I need to know.
Yep. So, and you want to do, you didn't want to use jQuery. You want to use
I would prefer to just use JavaScript if we can do it that way.
Yep. And I'm gonna be lazy.
I got it doing it, but it always stuffs the first one and then it doesn't see the change, and I can't figure out why it's not seeing the change.
Yep. Let's just all right. And developing JavaScript directly in the graphic browser sucks. So we're gonna go here. When this app doesn't work. Oh, it's because it's updating. Thanks. That's not. Bastard. Oh, what? All my
And your
docs are gone.
shortcuts fail.
All my doc sets aren't. They're removed. Well, that's why it's failing. Let me just install JavaScript again. That was weird. I wonder if that was a 12.3 thing. Look at that. That is annoying.
All of
Holy
mine
shit.
was removed as well, Joe.
Oh, all yours were removed too?
I just checked it the other day and everything was gone. I had to do it all.
That's annoying.
That's quite the update they did there.
Very likely for their new iMac or their new toy.
Almost there, guys. Sorry. Well, we're going to need, let's see, document.add. Oh, that's why it's not getting autocomplete, because we need to set this to JavaScript. Listener, and then we do change. All right, now it's there. There we go. So this is the function we're going to be using. It's add event listener, right? So oh, and it's not document.add event listener. I'm an idiot. Let's see, all right. So we're going to do const select equals document dot we'll do query selector all select. Okay, so we'll just get all selects. Or if we just want one, we'll just do query selector. And then here you do select dot add event listener change. Let's just do console.log changed. To
Like about, it's the value. You gotta get the value, right? Yeah.
oops. Okay. All right, let's see if my JavaScript works. Open up the console. Oh, why is it way over here? All right. Up. Select dot val is undefined. Dot query selector select. That works. Interesting. Just the dot val undefined. Can you not get the value of a select? Oh. Where I'm getting years of jQuery in my brain.
You only were more clever.
jQuery has corrupted my brain. All right, let's go to console, clear everything. Boom. Change it no. Change it yes. There you go, Scott. Now you want to then take this and update the value of another field. Is that correct?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. So let's just create a new field. I'll just do an input, right?
Now, what can I use this for, Scott?
I'll show you when it's done.
For everyone else, just use pi. Scott's making a stack for some stuff, which is what this is doing. So
I see Davide's got his e-commerce thing working.
So then we just do now, Scott, for you, you can like, instead of this, you can like put a class in there or something like that, right? So, you know, I'm just using the, yeah, you can change the selector to be whatever you want.
Yeah.
That should do it. There you go.
Cool. Yeah, I can make it. I can make it get the value, the first one, but then when I changed it, I couldn't get it to work. And like,
Boom. I'll shoot this to you in Slack.
all right, cool. Thank you.
It's nice that Davide has time to post while he's watching you, Joe.
Well, while you were doing that god awful stuff, I posted something interesting on the announcement page.
Yes. Is Mercury here?
Yep.
It is.
Awesome.
Just a soft launch, so maybe in the weekend I'll send an email out.
Awesome. Cool
Well,
graphic, dude. I like it.
Thanks. That stacks up is coming post is still on top. It's still in my mojo.
Oh, well, it's not in the feed. Only if you go straight to the announcements page. But yeah.
What's the thing? So I should post that on the announcement, or maybe I should post it also in the foundation budget. Should I? What's
no? I mean, if you post it into the announcements, everyone's going to see it. So
okay.
It's better for you just to post it in the announcements. Sweet. Any other questions, guys? We did some interesting stuff today. The read more and that JavaScript thing was pretty cool.
Yep. And we only have to fix points too.
Yes. F6 drop downs, if everyone's wondering, F6 drop downs in points isn't working right now. So gotta fix that. Lightboxes work though.
Yeah, Lightbox work. And if you could add that toggle features to points too, that would be awesome.
So from now on, all total CMS2 delay comments go to Davide.
Can we know what Scott was trying to do with that select form?
I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm doing with it right now.
Yeah.
I'm reading the contents of one blog list, right? The title, and I'm getting the title and permalink from one blog list, populating that drop down with it, so you could select it, and it will put the. You can select the title, and it'll put the permalink in another field, in another blog.
Oh, cool. Next project.
Sweet. Well, anything else, guys? Else, I think we'll call it a day.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Joe.
Oh, my pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
Well,
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll see some of you guys on Friday at the
Yeah.
Hangouts.
Yeah, let you know
Cool.
how I get on.
Take care, guys. You have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
Bye.
and